Hey there, y'all. I'm Juliette Miranda of the Unwritable Rant podcast, and today I want to share with you my top 5 whiskeys under 50. So the question I get asked most often is, what can I drink that's going to taste good and it's not going to set me back a fortune? Good news, y'all. There are tons of great whiskeys out there that cost less than $50, and I'll tell you, I've had them all. Now, these are my favorite ones. These are the ones that I go back to over and over again because they taste good and because I can't drink a $200 bottle of whiskey every day, and my guy would have me committed. Now, I just want to point out, these are not deep dive bottles of bourbon. You're going to be able to find these at pretty much every liquor store across the country because I want to make sure that everybody can taste these. So I'm not talking about any of the small distilleries, any of those local ones. And these are all bigger batch releases, so I promise you, you should be able to find them. First on my list is Elijah Craig. It's $27 a bottle and it comes from the Heaven Hill Distillery. Now, this was named after Reverend Elijah Craig, who is rumored to have been the inventor of the first batch of bourbon. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is really, really tasty bourbon. It's a little wily. It's got a lot of oak in it and a lot of nut in it, but it kind of rounds out in this really interesting, fun-flavored bourbon. I like to think of it as adult party bourbon. This is the kind of thing you can bring to a party, share with all your friends, mix, don't mix, drink straight. It's going to taste good and you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Next up is Old Granddad 114. This is a $29 bourbon, and y'all, this is what you drink when you want to get a little rowdy. It's a high-rye bourbon and a high-proof bourbon, 114 proof. So y'all, this has a big old punch to it. Lots of rye spiciness, really big, bold flavor. You bring this to a party, your friends are going to be ready to rock, I promise you. Plus, it just tastes good. Now, don't worry about that high proof. If you want to mellow it out with a little bit of water, it's all good. You're going to love it. So at the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Basil Haydens bourbon for $37. Now, this is also a high-rye bourbon, but it's going to be a little bit more sophisticated than that Old Granddad 114. This still has that big peppery spice flavor to it, but it's only 80 proof, so it's a little bit more mellow. You're going to get more caramel and more vanilla out of it. Very easy to drink, and I absolutely recommend trying a Manhattan with this. It works really well. My next choice might be a little controversial. It's Buffalo Trace at $40, and I'm finding that people either have a love or hate relationship with this bourbon. Me personally, I love this stuff. My guy, not so much. I think what he objects to is that Buffalo Trace has a little bit of a grassy sort of flavor to it. Now, I think it's amazing, and I buy this when I don't want him dipping into my bourbon because I like how that sort of earthy flavor balances out what really is a very classic tasting bourbon. It's sweet, it's smooth, it's got that caramel to it, but then you get that cool back note of that grassy sort of Buffalo Trace kind of flavor, and it's really cool. I highly recommend at least giving this a taste at a bar to see if you like it, and if you do, then grab a bottle. It's under $50, why not? The final bourbon on my top whiskeys under 50 list is 1792. And this is hands down one of my favorite bourbons ever. It really is because it just tastes like bourbon should. Now, I've seen this priced at either $30 or $40, depends on where you go, but it's absolutely worth it because it's so good. It has this sort of creme brulee sort of flavor to it. It's caramel and honey and just kind of that little bit of toasty burntness to it. I don't know if burntness is a word, but just give it a taste. You're going to love it. It's really smooth. It doesn't need ice or anything. I have 2 honorable mentions that I want to call out before wrapping up. That would be Larceny and Russell's Reserve. I didn't put them in the list specifically because I talk about them all the time, and that's why I'm giving them a little quick nod here. They're both under 50. They're both excellent. I hope you all enjoyed this top 5 whiskeys under 50 list. And if there's something specific that you want me to give a try, some sort of whiskey or bourbon you're curious about, hit those comments, let me know what it is. I will do my best to find a bottle and give it a taste. So y'all, have a great day. I'm Juliette Miranda. Cheers.
There you go. I swear